Good evening, folks. Good evening, folks, family and friends, man. Hopefully, at this time of day, everyone is doing wonderful, right? I came live. It's gonna be a short live, but I came to share with y'all my Monday's inspiration. Who's ever in the group, I posted it and I made a post, and the title of that post is "It's Your Mood," right? And ironically today it's been one of those "it's your mood" days for me, right? And I always try to share my own experience and endeavors when I'm expressing my hopes and desires for the people, right? How do you maintain your mood, right? How do you maintain your mood and stay in a spiritual place of goodness and health and wealth and spirit, right? When your mood is being challenged, right? The particular post says it's your mood, right? I have the power to determine how it turns out. In saying that, I want to share some days it's not easy to guide or govern your mood to stay in a good place, especially when the events throughout the day sometimes can be emotionally overwhelming, physically overwhelming, and downright spiritually overwhelming, right? And I want to share with the people, while I at work today, it was a strenuous day today that started last week. And what that means is that the particular work that I do in my professional life is in a place of service. Human service, mankind, care, love, passion, right? And it takes a lot out of you emotionally sometimes, right? And it's well worth it. And when you come across a situation where through consistency, through commitment, through earnest display of care and concern over a period of time, and when the individual whom you may be working with gets to that place to where, okay, now they willing to do something different. And when faced with that situation and you come about, and then you run into the systematic barriers. And you have to be the bearer of bad news upon someone who you have become the face of their motivation. It is because of you and your genuine input and efforts with the individual that they even got to the point in time to where the consideration to seek some improvement in their life had come about. And then when that time comes and you're faced with following through with all that you shared with them, that you promoted for them, all that you informed them of was accessible to them, to run into some glitches and then have to transfer that information to the individual, it's not always easily done, because now it's not the system that is at stake or at risk here. It's your own personal character and integrity that is being placed into question, right? Through no fault of your own. And sometimes that can easily adjust your mood. It can easily have you want your mood to shift. And it does have the ability to do that momentarily. But it's my mood. It's my mood, right? As well as it's your mood, right? So in spite of all the barriers or experiences we may face or may endure in our process, right? at the end of the day, or at the end of the moment, there's a small window of decision, choice that needs to take place, right? Now, I can choose to become consumed in the frustration of the situation that's taking place. But if I so do that, I take a chance at increasing the discouragement or the saddening feeling from the results of the individual whom I've been supporting for this period of time, right? So what it is basically like maintaining a healthy, optimistic view at that time is a selfless act. Eternally, I want to feel how the results are produced. I want to feel that excuse me for the interruption. Momentarily, technical difficulties. And that's due to the weather and events that's taking place right now. Or maybe it's just the Facebook goons who like to interfere whenever you are sharing some good spiritual growth and spiritual food to the people. Whatever it may be, it won't stop the process. And we're still talking about it's your mood. How do we develop a mood or sustain our mood to where it continuously is beneficial to our spirit? Practice, practice, and more practice, right? The first thing I have to do is remember that I have to get out of my selfish state. It's easy to want to be selfish. It's easy to want to be in a space or a time because of how I feel. And everyone around should be able to have understanding or empathy or compassionate, for me to feel the way that I feel, right? I say that there's a place and time for every feeling, right? When I'm happen to be at my professional setting, right? When I'm out there, right? It's really not a place or time to allow my selfishness to take over my selflessness, because other people's lives are contingent on my ability to stay in good space when I may have to be the one to bring about some not so good news to them. The whole key is to continuously encourage them not to lose faith in a system or in a situation that has the ability to fall short and not stand on what they are promoting. But there's always a way through. Sometimes the way through is patience coupled with perseverance. Continually be committed to what it is that's in your spirit that you say you want to do. And if improving your life and you're in that place to where that's what you want to acquire, then it's definitely going to need you to be patient and perseverance, right? Two good key components to hopefully acquire in your life when learning how to control your mood. Not my mood, not nobody else's mood, but your mood, right? How do I learn how to control my mood so that my mood keeps me in a good place? Because no matter what nobody does or whatever happens in my life or what takes place throughout the workday, I'm the final determining factor in my mood. If I feel angry or I display anger, I made the decision to become angry. Yes, it's easy to say, you made me angry. What you did caused me to be angry, because that means that I can have a justification or an excuse, right, to act a certain kind of way and not take the full responsibility for my actions, right? It's easy to put my actions on the faults or the weight of someone else. Because what I'm really saying is that if the consequences for my actions don't turn out all that good, I don't have to bear that by myself. I don't have to bear that brunt by myself. In life, through all my experiences, and no, I wasn't always where I'm at now. There was a time where everything I felt, I put into the hands of others. Whether it was good feelings, bad feelings, mad, anger, whatever emotional experience or state that I was in, I always contributed it to someone else. The problem with that was that, guess what? When I wanted to feel a certain kind of way, I had to look towards another in order to get that feeling. And when they didn't align with that or abide by that at the time that I deemed that I needed it, it placed me in another place, into another feeling that I didn't want to feel in the first place. Simply, I was just seeking to be felt, to feel love. And you want it from someone across the room or someone who's significant in your life. And they're in a space and time where they don't feel like shelling out no love. What is one left to do? One is left to be feeling depleted, undeserving, rejected, all these possible feelings that can come about from that, except the one thing that they were seeking, which was love. So I learned to be the determining factor of my love. So therefore, I will always have enough in me to soothe me when I'm seeking to be loved. Folks call it self-love, right? I call it loving on self when needed, but not allowing it to become selfishly attributed to me, to where me obtaining self-love is destroying all those around me. A mood. It's your mood. It is for you to determine how it's displayed. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much hell you may raise, how much ruckus you may cause, you're still left with your mood. While everyone else has gotten over whatever it is you may have imposed on them. Because you know how we do sometimes. Sometimes we get into space, right? And we trickle it and take it out on everybody else because the objective is if I'm feeling this way, it got to be because y'all did a bunch of stuff or a whole bunch of stuff is going on. And if y'all wasn't doing all that, I wouldn't feel this way. So I'm going to have to show y'all why y'all shouldn't have me feeling this particular type of way. So I'm going to act out. But then those folks that I acted out on or I displayed my unbecoming mood onto decides to get over it and move on with their lives. And I'm still stuck with it. It was those type of experiences that had me start to take a look deeper inside of me to say, like, okay, how is it that they are better in a better space with what I did, but I'm not in a good space with what I did? How do we get to that point, and how do we get to that time to where we learn how to become the only factor that determines the state of mood that we're in? First and foremost, as far as my professional state, right, I had to do an assessment. What I particularly work in and where I spend my days of professionalism in was always a passion. It was always a passion. Even through the downsides of my life, the ugly side of my life, right? I always had a passion in my heart to be doing something to the exact, if not the exact, but in the same reference of what I do today. So I always had a passion for that, right? It wasn't until I understood my purpose that I was able to sustain and maintain my mood. See, a passion alone still has the ability to have your mood all over the place. Because like most passions, it's only sustainable when it's feeling good. When it's feeling good. That's how passions work. When you're passionate about something, it's because of the good feeling that you're getting from it when performing it. The moment the good feelings stop, you find yourself questioning yourself whether or not you want to continue doing this. So understanding that my passion, and the reason this particular passion stayed with me through all my life, my ups and downs and all my endeavors, poor choices, poor decision makings, which led to poor results, right? Which I ultimately had to pay the highest price for all those things, regardless of what I may have done to others. The price that was paid highest was mine because my spiritual conditioning stayed in the place of distraught. I had momentary glimpse of good feelings and good feelings, but my overall spiritual condition had stayed in a place of distraughtness. In the here and now, performing my professionalism, understanding my passion, I've come to learn that what I do for a living is my purpose. It's my purpose in life. Because no matter what I endure through this process on the professional side or the personal side of my life, because what I do for a living, I honestly continue to do in my personal life. It began in my personal life before it became my professional life. And the two align together. And I've been through a lot of experiences on both sides that has confirmed that it's my purpose. Because no matter what the experience is, the ones that didn't go right, the ones that didn't go my way, the ones that in the past would have had me questioning what I do, would have had me trying to change what I do and do something different, those particular feelings never came up. Even in the lowest points of my personal pursuing with doing what I do, I never once thought of doing anything else. So I understand what a purpose is. A purpose is something that fits strategically and perfectly around the contours of who I am, which makes any day at work not feel like work. It's just like being blessed with the ability to live another day living my life. I just happen to get financially paid for that through other places. But whether that stops today or tomorrow, because the professional life can always end, whether that stops today or tomorrow, I will continue to still be doing this because it's my purpose. And I'm passionate about my purpose and always have. So once I understood that, once I found my purpose, my mood must continue to align with my purpose. How does that happen? I make a decision to always be in a space with my feelings, with my emotions, right? Listen, that I can stay leveled. Understand what I'm saying? Not perfect, not always on a high, not always on a low, just level. Because it's something about staying on level ground with your mood that allows one to endure and experience the hiccups and make a good decision. And it's more important and extremely important when other people's lives are contingent on what it is that you're doing. It is extremely valuable. So whenever situations happen, these are some of the steps that they like today, right? I take a brief moment. I just take a brief moment, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, Right? That's all I need. Some people may need a little longer, may need the whole lunch break, may need an hour, may need to me. I'm at the place where all I need is 5 to 10 minutes. And in that 5 to 10 minutes, I rekindle and I begin to reflect within what it is I'm a part of, what it is that is my purpose. And in remembering that this is my purpose as well as my passion, it gives me the ability to develop my mood to a place of upbeatness once again. Once again, it doesn't take much, because sometimes the work itself can become so extreme that it may begin to feel heavy. It may begin to feel heavy. Knowing oneself, knowing one's capabilities, not placing limitations on one's ability to push through. All these particular tools I utilize in my life today. One of the main things is I never place a limitation on what it is that I can do. What it is that, how it is that I can feel. I don't put no limitations on them. And as long as I don't put no limitations on them, nothing around me can limit me from finding that space of goodness. But doable it is. Am I saying that it was an easily achieved thing? No, I'm not saying that. But I am saying that through consistency and continuously practicing, applying, it became natural to rely on these things. Everything that I've done in my life or acquired in my life, whether good or bad, I did it through repetitious behavior. So when I'm talking about positivity, when I'm talking about controlling my mood, I'm talking about starting something and repetitiously keep applying it until it becomes naturally ingrained to where now it doesn't require a lot to obtain it, to pull it out. I do these things because I made a conscious decision some years ago that the last thing I want to do is spend my life in a bad space and time or having a bad mood. I made a conscious decision to not want to do that. And then I had to learn how to develop myself to get to that place. And it has been completely wrong. Just go ahead, bye, baby. We'll see you. It don't matter.
I'm going to take the tire home.
You know, and that's fine, babe. You know. Yeah, that's my wife sneaking through. I told y'all I just came from work, so it's all right. Right? I haven't settled in yet. You know, I just wanted to reach out to the people because I shared the post, right? And what would it be what would it be for me to say something or express something or share something with the people and not be able to be accountable for what it is that I share? So I came to y'all tonight to let you know that, yes, I too face situations to where I have to make a conscious decision to keep my mood in a state to where it's conducive for my spirit. Understand what I'm saying? I'm not telling people not to feel things. First of all, you can't avoid feeling things. You're going to. In your human experiences, part of that is feelings. Even when you think you're trying to avoid feelings, you're feeling something trying to avoid feeling. So therefore, I'm not telling people to be void of feelings. What I'm saying is that upon experiencing these feelings that don't always feel good, all it requires is a pause and a moment to make a conscious decision. A conscious decision to say no. Instead of allowing the thing that didn't go right to channel my mood towards the thing that didn't go right. Make a conscious decision to say, no, I'm going to keep my mood in this direction, because this direction is conducive for me spiritually. So, just for today, man, inspiration through information, man. Just remember, man, you are the determining factor of your mood. It doesn't belong to nobody else. It's all yours. Have a wonderful evening and a good night. Look forward to seeing y'all shortly. Peace.